Hey everyone, welcome to the Love Everybody podcast. On today's episode, we got my man Antonio Ingram. How
Oh,
are you?
I am well. Thank you.
Yes, I'm so excited for you to be here. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Just like not like backstory, but just like what you do right now.
Yeah. So right now I am a full-time online fitness coach.
Mm-hmm.
Been doing that for the past 3 years. Been a trainer coach for the past seven
Nice.
years total.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I listened to you on Joe and them's podcast, and I was like, man, I gotta talk to him. Like, and we've been talking. I mean, I don't even know. Like, do you remember how we connected? Like, was it just through Instagram?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it's been just through IG.
Yeah,
We
because
hit it off right off the jump.
yeah, because I literally messaged you. I was like, bruh, I love what you're doing. Help me.
Yeah.
like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, because like I said before, like online programming stuff, like back in the day, like I did it, and it just didn't like nobody was really talking about it.
Hmm.
And I feel like that was around the same time. Like you had originally started and like you had got like a mentor, I think,
Hmm.
and stuff. And what I heard about, and I was like, yeah, I just was kind of doing it, and it just was like, nah, I'm gonna do more in person. So
Yeah.
then get fully booked in person. Been doing that for years, and then it was like now I started to started opening that up,
Hmm.
and it's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it, but I love like the stuff that you're doing. I always see you grinding, and that was another reason I wanted to have you on, and because it's just like literally like I don't wanna say count on you because I ain't trying to put pressure on you like
Yeah.
that, but it really
No,
is,
put the
like,
pressure
I feel
on.
but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. 100%.
I feel it in that space, I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were talking about before we got on mics and stuff, like, you were talking about, just getting a little bit to know about me and everything, but, like, where are you from again?
Jackson, Tennessee.
Okay, so
Hmm.
Tennessee.
Yep.
Alright.
Yep.
And then why did you end up coming to Murfreesboro,
Yeah,
Nashville area?
originally, to go to school. It,
Okay.
it was the reason, but it
Okay.
really was to get out of my hometown because there wasn't nothing going on
Yeah,
there. Yeah,
okay, I
and I
got
was in
you.
a situation, so best to come up and
Yeah.
attempt to do better things.
Okay, I love that. And then now you have, Sabrina, right? She works
Hmm.
under you?
Yep.
Like, okay, cool. And she's helping to run the online
Yep.
programs and
Yep.
everything?
Yep. She's my assistant coach, killing it.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
she seems like it, but did she start out as a client?
Yep. Started as a client a
Okay.
year ago, actually. Today,
Okay.
yeah, a year
Oh,
ago this month.
that
Yeah.
is so
Started
cool.
on a challenge. Killed
Yeah.
the challenge. Became a client, and then like 6 months in, was like, hey, like I
Yeah.
love what's going on here. I want to help people as well.
That's
You know.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful that could, like, come together. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. I
Yeah.
seen it the whole time, to be honest. I'm just waiting on her to
Right,
be
like, you
like, "Hey,
knew
I'm ready."
that?
Yeah, I seen it the whole time. So as soon as she let me know, I was like, "Hey, let's do it." I've
Yeah.
been waiting on this.
So, yeah, what I was saying before it was about like manifestation, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer in it. Are you just more like in touch with that intuition, like that like what you just saying right now, or are you more like manifestation as well?
I feel like they go hand in hand to a
Mhm.
degree. You know what I mean? Like, I, you can't deny feelings. You can't deny intuition.
Right.
You can't deny vibes,
Yeah.
energy. You
Yeah.
know. And so with her, she just had a great aura about her. I'm like, like something in my mind is telling me we're gonna do great things. I don't know
Yeah.
how, but would do great thing. Rather be just client coach,
Yeah.
but I got a feeling like once she really gets to a point, she'll be ready to really come onto the team. And like I said, it happened that way. But manifestation is so powerful. Like I said, I believe it go hand in hand with intuition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I do as well. I think that so many people look at it though as like manifestation, just like a dreamer. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But I feel like and then intuition is more like trust your gut, like
Yeah.
very logical, very like you know what I mean? Like it's like
Yeah.
I know this, like it's happening.
Yeah.
And so when you can put the two together, it is really cool. No, yeah, I've been like I said, it always makes me feel good when I can like see your stuff and just see like if anybody's listening, like who hasn't followed Antonio, that you need to. What is it, Antonio Ingram?
Fitness.
Yeah, fitness. On IG. And you do TikTok as well, right?
Hmm.
Okay.
Same handle. Yep.
Okay, yeah, that's how I am with like Danny Fitness and one and everything and keep it, the same. So online business, when did it really like start popping off for you? Was it like because of you think like your mentor kind of set you up?
Yeah.
Like you had a story. Tell me this. Like what happened? Like it was tell me that tell the listeners that
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. So it's crazy. I know you mentioned like you had been trying to do like like dabble with the online and you
Mm-hmm.
went back to doing in person. Like to be real with you, Danny, like same here. Like in 2017, I was trying to dabble.
Yes.
2016, 17, trying
Yeah.
to dabble with it, like pulling information from here, pulling information from here, but I couldn't get it to work.
Yeah.
Right. So I went back to doing in person and then it's crazy. I had like $500 to my name
Right.
at one point, and I'm like, man, like and it's so I had $5 to my name, and my daughter was getting ready to move with me
Okay.
full time.
Mhm.
So I'm like, I got to figure out something because I can't do in person because I won't be
Yeah.
able to spend time with her, right? Because
Yeah.
you know how they go, like you're working a lot. So I'm like, okay, cool. I need to find somebody to teach me how to do this, and I'm gonna do everything I can. Like I'm gonna figure it out, like no matter
Mhm.
what. So literally, Facebook. I don't know, Apple phones, Facebook. Yeah, y'all listen. They listen to our conversations
Oh,
because
yeah.
literally
Yeah.
2 hours later, an ad popped up. And it
Yeah.
was like, if you're an online trainer looking to take your business on, or if you're a personal trainer looking to take your business online, I have this case study. Boom, boom, boom. And it was the
Mhm.
guy who is now my mentor, like
Okay.
talking in the ad. And I'm like, man, like that's real. Like that was meant to happen.
Okay.
I don't know who it is. I
Yeah.
could I could lose all my money investing in this person.
Yeah.
But my last $500, even though
Mhm.
the course was actually like a couple thousand,
Yeah.
this person was like, you know what, you can just put 500 down, exactly 500
Yes.
to get started.
Right.
Put 500 down to get started, right? I'm like, okay, cool. Now I have the framework to be a successful online because he gave me the whole framework that I needed,
Wow.
right? And so that first month, I said, if once I make how much I need to live off of, which
Yes.
was just a couple thousand at the time, right,
Mhm.
to cover my expenses, I was gonna quit in person,
Yeah.
and I did that within a few weeks.
See, I love that you set that intention. Like, you literally were like, "I'm going to do this, and then I'm gonna get to this point."
Yeah,
Like
100%.
you already versus I feel like a lot of people are like, "Let me just, like, try it out, see how it goes. I'll
Yeah,
still hold on to this back here."
yeah.
But
And I burned out ships.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and how long had you been in person training at that point?
At that point, it was 4 years.
Okay, so how did you like, how did you, I guess, mend that relationship with those people? Were you just like, "Hey, if you still wanna work with me, like, we're gonna go all online. I'd love to work with you," or were you just like, "Hey, y'all, this was fun.
Yeah,
Love ya.
yeah.
I'm out."
Yeah, I was just like, hey, like, I can provide a better service. Like, I can provide a better service to you being online because I can give you more
Mhm.
of what you need as far as that accountability and whatnot.
Right.
But if that doesn't work for you, then I had my brother at the time who was in person training as well. It still does.
Okay.
You probably I don't know if you know Cleve Jackson or not.
I don't know.
Works at Gold Gym in Smyrna, Tennessee. But
Okay.
him, I was like, you can go to him,
Yeah,
right?
that's good,
And
yeah.
we'll just do that way. And some people came with, some people went to
Yes.
him. So it just worked out that way. And we just went from
Okay.
there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So does your brother but he doesn't work for you?
No,
Okay,
no.
okay, gotcha.
And not
Um,
like blood brother, but like
okay,
someone
I
who I
see,
have
I
a
see,
very,
I
very close
see.
bond with.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's really cool. Because again, I think that a lot of even trainers that are listening would have a hard time with that.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, and I know I would because right now I do have online clients and people that are in different states, and I love that,
yeah,
right? I got a challenge going, which you actually were like so I did my Get Your Movement challenge last year, and I've
yeah.
done it before, but I did it, like, different times of the year,
Mhm.
just trying to see, like, when works best. Like, used to, I did it, like, fall into Christmas, and then would announce the winner in Christmas time, so, like, you get makes you earn
Yeah,
some money, like, then, and, like and everybody loved
I
that,
like that.
and I noticed that, like, you do, like, multiple challenge
Yeah.
just, like, throughout your year, and I
Mhm.
was like, "Oh, what a concept," you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was just so, like, in that realm of, like, okay, with the one coming up and whatever, and I was like, "I don't know if I wanna do it." Like, I was kinda, like, second guessing myself a
Yeah.
little bit, just because of,
It's
like,
normal.
just with, like, time, you know what I'm saying? And with everything. And so when I saw that, I was like, "Come through. Alright, he's doing it, like,
Yeah.
I'm with him right there, like, let's go," right? And it's been great, and
Yeah.
it's popped off, and it's really good, but
I loved it. Yeah.
yeah, so your stuff does, I mean, matter, and I feel like as entrepreneurs, like, we need to hear that,
Yeah.
and people see it, they notice it, they're watching, and it's really cool. But yeah, so to have people in, like, different states, like, that excites me
Yeah.
because then I'm like, "Okay, the reach is getting out there." And so now with online programming, that's what I'm kinda getting into. But it is one of those where I wanna ask, so with that $500 thing, so I kinda have the same story, but it was more about my personal health
Mhm.
with, like, Advocare back in
Mhm.
the day.
Mhm.
And it was like, I'm doing group fitness, but, like, I really need to get the fitness or, like, the supplement, like, all that stuff,
Yeah.
And I remember being like, "I have $500 in my account."
Yeah.
And the girl was like, "Yeah." And the girl actually now, I train her and, like, go on her, like, radio talk show and stuff. So it's just funny how it all kinda comes full circle.
Yeah.
But she was doing an Advocare back in the day. And I was like, "Honestly, like, I'm not trying to sell it, like, I'm not trying to do any of that. I just wanna do something for me."
Mhm.
Right? And I used that $500 to, like, get me started on that. And that helped me learning how to eat better, learning to eat things. I came from 2 liters of soda every day.
Mhm.
ramen noodles every day, pizza, like bad stuff,
Yeah.
but I danced, I was active. But it just, was never on the same level. And so anyway, like I would teach like at the time, I do Move Fit now, but I would teach like Zumba at the time
Mhm.
and then be like, all right, let's all go have pizza. Like, like it
Yeah.
just was never on the same level.
On Planet Fitness vibes.
And right? So it was. And so that was like in college.
Yeah.
And of course, and everybody's like, yeah, let's go drink, whatever. So it was really cool to hear that about your story because I kind of felt like I related to that in a
Yeah.
sense where you're like, you just give it all and you're like, might as well, right? Okay. But see, the difference with that is I knew this girl. And so it was kind of like I could trust in that.
Yeah.
How did you, for anybody that's trying to move forward with stuff right now, like how did you just trust that person,
I
this
didn't
mentor?
trust in myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I trusted myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know how I was gonna find him if he did burn me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
Exactly. Yeah.
I just trusted myself, and at the time, and I gotta put this out there too. Like, it wasn't just me. Like, I wasn't like living on my own. Like, I had a
Right.
original relationship, right? So this person,
Okay.
I told them, hey, like, this the last $500 I got. Just trust me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it work, but I
Yeah.
always come through. I'm gonna make it work.
Yeah.
Right. And I didn't have a track record of coming through and shit.
Right.
Like,
You
to
just
be
believed
honest,
in
I just believed in
yourself.
myself. Right. And we just made it happen.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that.
I had no reason to trust
Okay. All right.
him.
That's what I wanted to know. Seriously. Cause like, yeah, I mean, it does come down to that. Like, and I see things, I mean, every day. Like my phone does pick that up, like, oh, this mentor and this one and
Yeah.
this and whatever. I'm like, dude, like I more so have like a life mentor that
Mhm.
helps me with like stuff, that I can talk to and like, ask about like, investments and taxes and things
Yeah.
like that. Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I was really like, that was kind of a cosmic way of like being at the resort that I worked in Vermont. I was up there right out of college,
Okay.
and so it's all women's healthy living resort. So I met all people from like international to like people who also were from Tennessee, from different states. I mean, and connected with those women,
Yeah.
and I loved it, and it was such a good experience. But I learned about like body positivity
Yeah.
up there because that's right when it hit in New York, where
Mm.
everybody was talking like that whole. You probably saw the ads and stuff where it was like usually, like a larger woman and then had like a cupcake or something like that. Those were the campaigns that they were doing, being like, "You can love your body and eat this," and then where okay, so it was very extreme,
Mhm.
okay? So that happened around that time, and I was up there, and then I was like, at this resort, their methods were more so, "Let's move every day, let's whatever," and I was like, "You know what? Like, body positive fitness,
Mm.
like, put it together,
Yeah.
make it make sense." And so when I was like, no one's talking about that even a little bit, like down in the South. So when I came back, I was like, I'm gonna make sure that everybody knows that like you can love your body throughout. Like you can find a way to continually work towards getting better, but also love yourself throughout, not hate your way through it,
I
which is
love
what
that.
I was taught always,
Yeah.
like
100%. You want to
you'll
flip
be
it.
happy when you can, yeah, when you look the way you look.
So sorry to
No,
interject,
you're
but
good.
it basically sound like you realized you needed or you wanted to be and you wanted to be the person for others who you needed at the time when you
Yes,
first started out.
100%
Yeah.
because I was super lonely. I mean, like, think about it. Like, I couldn't go out with the people that were like the participants that were there at the resort.
Yeah.
Wasn't like code of ethics, right? So literally everyone's like going out on Saturdays, doing excursions and whatever. And I'm like, I'm gonna go run 13 miles. And I did, like, did my first half marathon because I literally had nothing else to do. Like, I was just alone.
Yeah.
And yes, my mentor was great, but again, keeping those boundaries that, there and whatever, and learning from all them and stuff like that. But I just, but it was nice though, because when I look back at that time, I was like, man, you grew so much. Like I didn't have distractions. I wasn't talking to nobody. It was a small town. It was a
Yeah.
ski town. So there's like two men in the whole town.
Oh wow.
Okay. Both like married and like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was just like one of those things where like there was literally no distraction.
Like monk mode. Full.
Yes.
Full.
And so I could, like, actually be like, "What have I been missing?" And I was like, "I don't know anybody that's doing this
Yeah.
down south, so, like, I'm gonna build it." And that is kinda how, my whole business and everything started.
This is how long
Um,
ago?
that was, so I went right out of college. So I graduated in 2015 from UT Knoxville, and then went there. So it was 2016 when I actually got a job and, was offered, this position as a personal trainer at this gym in Franklin.
Mm.
Showed up, literally the people on site were like, because I talked to the CEO, because the resort, like, the business mentor, like, had connected me with them, like, "You gotta give her a job, like, she's great, she's doing all these awesome things," whatever. I show up, sit there in front of these people, they're like, "Why are you here today?" And I was like, "Man, I thought, like, I had this, like, job, like, I'm excited at personal training." And they're like, "Yeah, we just think it's gonna be really hard for you to do personal training here." And I was just kind of like, at the time I was confident, but I wasn't as bold as I am now. So I didn't ask. I
Mm,
wasn't like, well, why is that? You know what I mean? And from what they were putting down, it seemed like because I didn't look like all the other trainers there, the female trainers there. And so it kind of was like disheartening. And so I just let them, I was like, okay, well, can I just like see it, kind of walk around, cause like there's no such thing as bad interviews for me. Like I think like you can take something from everything.
yeah,
So I'm like walking around and then before I left, the woman was like, well, we actually have what is it? Like a membership position. I was like, "Oh, like what's that?" She's like accounting. I'm like, "I'm really bad with math," but she's like, "But it's a salary and like it'll be pay." I was like, "Well, I'm living with my parents and like I gotta come home with a job," like
yeah.
that kind of thing. So I was like, okay, so I'm wearing like suits and I'm going in there like membership and just hating my life, being super depressed. And then literally I ended up using that and I was like, okay, let's flip the script. Tell everyone about your journey. Talk to people, get to know people. So those thousands of people that came in there every day knew my journey, knew who I was. Then started doing fitness events, teaching water aerobics, sub and group fitness, personal training. Had one client for like 4 months. Everyone laughed at me every day. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it was one of those of like, I just felt so alone again. And then finally, it was just like stuff started popping off. People started seeing it. They started understanding the verbiage, whatever, then became the top salesperson for that gym. So after that happened, about a year that I did that, I was like, I'm gonna give myself a year, like do this, prove this to myself,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna start my business.
What's like I can feel it from you. You feel me? Like you
Yeah.
are like a ball of fire. Like what's the driving force?
Besides my fight energy, I would like slide in there. No,
Shameless plug. You feel
right?
me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can get it at Rock Nutrition.
Come
You get
on.
a Nutrition Factory online. Okay. Anyway, so the driving force. I mean, really, it came from like being. I mean, truly being alone with myself and being like, what did you want? And what I wanted was a community. Like I went and during this whole time, I went to many Nashville classes, Murfreesboro, Franklin, everywhere to try to find where I fit.
Yeah.
Gyms, locations, all these things. Nothing ever felt like I felt not accepted. Like I felt like it was just I don't know, really frustrating because they would like hand me 5 pound weights and be like, here you go. And I was like, no, I mean, I feel like,
Hmm.
whatever. So anyway, so it was like that kind of thing. But so and I want to ask you, like, what is that? Like, what do you think is your driving force? Like, I know I wanted to build a community so that other people who ever felt like me could feel, you know what I'm saying? Like, could feel not never have to feel how I felt. So, like, was yours?
For me, I come from a place where it was more so I didn't really feel like I was making people around me proud.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the life I was living wasn't really something worth inspiring to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to flip that. And
Yeah.
so I wanted to become someone who I inspire myself, but also in the meanwhile of pursuing what I'm pursuing,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully inspire somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much my driving force is me becoming better in the process. Other people become better because of me
Yeah.
living my life. Not
Right.
like an actual intention, like, oh, I gotta inspire you, or I'm here to push you, I'm here to
Right.
motivate you. It's like I'm inspiring to where I'm trying to go. And hopefully in the meantime, like someone see that like, fuck, like,
Yeah.
this motherfucker don't miss.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
and I mean, I do feel that, and like I said, when I see on your Instagram and stuff like that, whatever, and you post something, I'm like, "Yeah, that's right." Like, you know what I mean? I'm
yeah,
like, "Come on."
same.
Like,
Same. I
thanks.
hit you with that like the same energy. Like you own your shit. And I'm like, I love being surrounded by people like that. And it's hard, it's rare, it's hard to find too.
So you're wearing Ambition
Hmm.
threads, yeah, yes, and so that reminds me, like and Tyler's one of my good friends, and we talk about this all the time. Like, we'll just sit and have a conversation or whatever, and it's just like that whole thing of you have to surround yourself with that type of energy.
Yeah.
And because for so long with the whole trust thing, like, I had a hard time with that, because it just felt like continually people kept, like, taking and taking and taking. So it's hard to feel you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To, like, feel like you actually can open up and be there in a not, vindictive way, you know what I mean? Like, that they have their best intention for you,
Yeah.
and I feel that with you, and so that's why when I, like, will ask you all these questions, I'm like, "Man, this man, I know he's busy, but he's answering,"
Yeah.
and that means a
No,
lot,
100%. Because I know how I know I was there,
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, again, it goes back to what I was saying about you, like you were like, how can I be this person that I needed at that time?
Mhm.
And so I don't mind, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here to help
Oh, I
any way
love
I
it.
can.
I love that. So, what's kind of I mean, I know you got a challenge going on right now,
Mhm.
right? So, what's, do you it's, like, 30-day challenges? Is
Mhm.
that what you usually do?
So No, so originally, it started out like 14 days, like free challenges
Okay.
every like 6 weeks, every 6 to 8 weeks, right? But
Okay.
I started to notice that people will wait for those, right? Which is not a bad thing,
Yes.
but
Nope.
they'll
I
just
know.
wait for the free challenges.
Yes.
But you're like, it's only 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So what I started doing was, okay, cool. You can only do one
Okay.
free challenge,
Okay, yes.
right? But then people got smart
Yep.
and started using different names.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. So then it's like, okay, now this is a problem. So I'm like, okay, now we got to stop the free challenges. So now we
Oh.
do like masterclass so a
Okay.
free 4 day masterclass. You can't get no kind of physical result out of 4 days. So it's more
Right.
just teaching purposes, right?
Okay, I love that.
But it's funneling people,
Mhm.
into that. And then right now we're doing a paid challenge, so 4 weeks paid
Yes.
challenge. So the original lose the gut, keep the butt has been like my thing,
Mhm.
right? And people kind of know me for those challenges. So like,
Yes.
how can we make that like a premium thing? Because I know it gets results,
Right.
but now I want to be able to help more people like moving forward with that.
Yeah, because 'cause I've dealt with that, and
Yeah,
that's why, like, a lot of people are like, "Oh, just, like, do a free this, a free that, free whatever," and I'm like, that's why, like, even, like, coming up
yeah,
with workout videos, like, everybody with and their mom does a workout video and you know, and whatever, and that's fine, that's cool. My workouts are for me,
yeah,
and I also think that everyone's journey is so different that, like and I have always been so different that I'm like, I wanted people to feel like they could be inspired by it, motivated by it, but
right.
they don't have to do exactly what I do.
Mm,
You know what I mean? And because what I saw was everybody telling you, "Okay, do this and that, like 3 reps here, 7 reps here, 10 reps here." But for me, like, that didn't work,
yeah,
and so it was just kinda like noise. And so that is why I don't do, like, free, just like, "Here's some workouts for you guys to do,"
yeah.
and whatever. But it when I because, like, when I've done challenges before, it's just never given a good return with
Hmm.
that. It will like, people will take,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and so that's why I wanted to ask
Yeah, yeah.
about that.
Well, they so the challenges always convert pretty well. So I
Mhm.
mean, of course, with free, you get a lot of tire kickers, right? Which is just it
Yeah.
is what it is, right? Some people just aren't ready, and then you got the small percentage who are,
Yeah.
right? So you just bring those people in. But it's a great way just to attract people into what you're doing. You know what I mean? Which is
Yes.
awesome way.
Which is really cool. And so do you basically well, I guess, do they have kind of their community, like, within the online programming so
Hmm.
they can, like, all reach out to each other and
Yeah.
have
So
access?
like I do Facebook groups.
Okay.
So like I have a private client community for Facebook, and then when
Yeah.
I do challenges, I have a private community for them,
Okay.
right? And then we just gas it up, just hype it up, and keep
Yes.
everybody super excited
Okay.
throughout the whole time.
Was that something your business mentor talked about, like, Facebook versus Instagram? Like, he thought or she thought that it was better that way, or
As
do you
far
just like Facebook better?
as far as like group communities,
Mhm.
we never talked about Instagram community. It just
'Cause
seems to
that's
be easier with Facebook.
oh, okay.
But even though like I feel like Facebook like a dinosaur now, because a lot of people are like,
Yeah.
I don't even have a Facebook.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And like a lot of people don't want to continue to keep switching from, because we got TikTok now.
Yeah.
So you switching from TikTok to Instagram to Facebook. And so sometimes you can get lost. But
Mhm.
Facebook groups just seem to work out better.
I gotcha. Yeah, because I have an Instagram one accountability group right
Do you?
now, and that seems to work for my people.
Okay.
And even for the ones that, like, aren't really tech savvy, they're like,
Yeah.
"I can handle Instagram," or, like,
Okay.
that's what they tell me,
Okay.
and so we do that. But yeah, so in terms of, like, with stress and stuff, how do you kind of, like with everything? Because I mean, at some point, I mean, you're online all the time,
Mhm.
right? So because that is your business. So, I mean, does it ever get to the point where you're just like, dang, like in a day, you're like, I posted on Instagram, then I posted to Facebook, then I posted to TikTok, and I did that. Like, does it ever get overwhelming to you? Are you like, no, this like fuels me more? Like, it's exciting. Like, how are you kind of like, where's your state at right now?
So if my VA, so if I don't have someone else like working with me to help with the posting and things like that,
Yeah.
then it's just me doing all of it. It
Yeah.
can get a little overwhelming, and I will have to take like a social media break for like a day.
Yeah.
Some max the other like literally the other week was like I took 2 days
Yeah.
just to kind of like pull back because I'm like it was
Hmm.
a lot of stimuli going on,
Yeah.
especially with the challenge, the new year,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm feeling
and
that
all
right
of that.
now.
Yeah, you feel me? So it's a
Hmm.
lot. But yeah, if it's just me, it can get a little overwhelming. But
Yeah.
I love that though. I love the content creation.
Yeah, it usually means, like, you're doing something right
Yeah.
too, and I feel that with the content creation, I love that, but it was, like, I remember I paid someone to help me with, like, social media, but, like, I wrote everything, I did everything, like, literally just posted for me. You know
I
what?
got a guy I can send to
Like,
you to help you
okay,
with that.
I may yeah, I may hit them up, but seriously, like,
Yeah.
I just didn't feel like it was worth it at that
Yeah.
point and, like, did not grow my following, like, nothing. It's so it's just like, what am I actually paying for
Paying
when
for it.
and so I was like, "I'll do it myself."
Yeah.
Well, then it was like, okay, then I'll like do this other stuff myself. And then so I'm finally like starting to outsource things. So if
Mm,
you have good people, always like feel free to share.
100%.
Like, and I love to support like local
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, everybody. And so it's just one of those where it's like, I look at it, I'm like, I cannot do everything all the time.
No. And you know it. The higher you want to go, the higher you want to grow. Like you got to start delegating more and more and more. It's not about doing less, but it's also about doing the right things.
Right. When it comes to that trust
Yeah.
and everything. And so that has been like, I don't know, do you do like a word of the year or anything like that? Like a
I That is crazy. So that is like meant to be right now, or meant to be said. Because I literally right before I came here, I was at the
Uh-huh.
house and I had a newsletter pop up from a mentor of mine, and it was talking about the one word for the
Okay.
year, and I've
Yep.
never heard of that before. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, so one of my girls who has like one of my clients, she's awesome. She comes to all my things, ambassadors, whatever. She does the whole word of the year thing, and
Okay.
she always puts it out there for everybody, like, "Hey, this is my word of the year." She's like really accountable with it, and
Mm,
so I always kind of like laugh. I'm like, I got a ton of words for the year, or whatever. And then I really started thinking about it, and I was just like, man, all right, let's see, like, what can we look at? Like, what can we start with, right? So my whole understanding is like putting it out there. So like mine is trust.
okay.
Okay. So then from there, I'm gonna start seeing that more everywhere I go in every conversation. Like there's
Mm,
some type of trust or some type of that I can pull from it. So I'm using it to be like, okay, is this something that I can manifest and like actually make happen versus just being like, okay, I'm gonna trust everyone now. It doesn't happen like
yeah.
that.
Facts.
So it is like working towards that. But yeah, so it's just for us, it's just an intention thing and it's an accountability thing. Like by putting it out there, then you start seeing it more, then you start understanding it more, then you start being open to it more.
No facts. I like that.
So that's kind of what I've been doing. So and I don't know if trust was actually like my word I told her the other day. I think I said like open, like
Okay.
more like I'm like open to doing things like outsourcing, like doing this, which that leads to trust,
Yeah.
vulnerability,
Has
all
that
those
been hard
things.
because you feel like, and I've been there and I'm still there, that no one can do what you do, how you
Oh,
do it?
yeah. Oh, yeah. I think a lot of us as entrepreneurs
Yeah.
feel that way
Yeah.
because we have a way. We have s and there's some things that I've learned in my, 6 years of business that, like, okay, there are some things that, like, it's okay if it doesn't come through 100% or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
If it got done, it was out there, whatever, then it is what it is,
Yeah.
right? It's and giving up that kinda control.
Yeah. It's
But
hard.
there are other things that are not okay with that.
No,
That makes
facts.
sense?
No, facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to do. Hard to give the control. And like you said though, putting things out there, not like being so set on things being perfect. Because everything
Yes.
entrepreneurship is beta testing,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
You just
yeah.
gotta run it through.
And that's why I like how you like you said, you figured out that, oh, they were getting smart with the free, and so
Yeah.
you pivoted, which again protects you, protects them, but everybody gets something,
Yeah. Facts.
versus, just feeling like you're doing all this, like, and not really having that return or having that true connection, and they're just using. So, I love that. So, what about, and you are living though you live in Murfreesboro or you
Hmm.
live
Murfreesboro.
okay, okay,
Hmm.
and you like it? Everything's good?
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. I've been here 10 years now.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about moving out of Murfreesboro.
Okay,
Not really sure where. So it's either Florida. So my mom's and her husband moved to Florida not long
okay,
ago, and I love going down there.
cool.
Or just like downtown Nashville, just
Yeah.
see what it's like out that way. Like Murfreesboro is great, right? But I don't
Yes.
know. I feel like I've never got to enjoy, like experience like the city like that.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it's a whole nother level. Like I told you before, it was like I was moving from Murfreesboro right into Midtown, right
Hmm.
into the high rise. I mean, I was in it,
Yeah.
and I don't so I'm coming up on a year sober. And
Okay.
so for me, like being
Congratulations. Yeah, it's
thank
awesome.
thank you. So for being there, like and being around people who are drinking all the time and
Hmm.
partying, whatever, it's just not my vibe. But
Yeah.
it's kind of cool to be around it, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like it's like a okay, no, I have this discipline, this willpower, like that kind of thing.
Like a test every day.
It really
Yeah.
is, yeah, and because again, I remember too how I used to feel with, like, being insecure and, like, feeling that I had to go out there. I
Mhm.
had to do things, I had to impress people, I had to be there, all those different whatever,
Yeah.
and even now with people with business, I don't know if they tell you, like, "Hey, put yourself out there in terms of, like, networking and
Yeah.
stuff," but there's a fine balance to, like, you have to protect yourself
Yeah.
too and have that mental space, like, because if there's a night where you're like, "Dude, like, no, I'm trash, like, I'm done.
In there.
I cannot do
Yeah.
something else."
Social interaction batteries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and, like, knowing that you can take that time.
Yeah.
So I do think that, like, even coming to Nashville, yes, there's so many, like, things going on and whatever,
Yeah.
but you can still have your lifestyle and
Mhm.
have what you know what I mean, and get stuff done, and then, like, Yeah.
And that's crazy you say that because it's really like been the mindset like of moving out of, not saying you can't network and do a lot of things here in Murfreesboro, but I just feel
Right.
like being in the city would be put me in a space where it's more of that. I don't
Yes.
know.
I mean, I don't know. Every community has different things.
Yeah.
Like I really resonate, like I said, Tyler,
Yeah.
Ryan, Trent, like, people who Logan,
Yeah.
Joe,
Yeah.
I love all of them. And then it's like, even you have my girl Heidi with like alpha cookies and
Yeah.
like Sabrina doing her thing. Like
100%.
all like it's just, you have so many people who are really vibing and really working, but they're just making it happen no matter where they are.
Facts.
And so I don't know, like, I would say in Nashville, I don't know if, like, my networking got better or if it was just that, like, I could more so, like, quiet the noise around me and be like, "There's these opportunities," but, like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it really I feel like it feels like there's more going on,
Yeah.
and I think maybe it actually just, like, keeps my energy up. Like, for
Okay.
example, like, living in the house, right? So I could, like, open the door or, like, open the window, the curtain and stuff, and I could see outside, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yes." I don't know, like, I wanna impact the city.
Yeah.
So it was more like that every morning
Right.
when I woke up, and that was kinda what drove me to keep going.
Yeah.
Versus, I think when I was in the borough, I'm just going, shutting the door, going to sleep as soon as I could because I was exhausted from all the travel,
Right.
back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I don't know. So, I mean, I'd love for you to be in Nashville, like,
Yeah.
and, like, have that, have you come
Experience.
through?
Yeah.
You can have that
100%.
experience. Is your daughter still like, is she's full with you full time?
No, not at the moment.
Okay,
Mm.
gotcha. So I mean, you kinda look at that season of life,
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, so what part of Florida, if you did go to Florida?
Thought about Miami, but not Miami.
Yeah.
But Fort Lauderdale, because Fort
Okay.
Lauderdale is like a Murfreesboro to Nashville kind of thing.
Oh,
So it's like
okay.
the Murfreesboro to Miami kind
I
of deal.
got
So
you.
30 minutes away, right? But also
Yeah.
like family oriented. So when that
Okay.
time comes, right,
Mhm.
then we'll be good.
Okay. Well, very cool. So
100%.
what is something that you have, you know, I guess in this new year? Like what is something that like your goal for everything? It doesn't have to be that word yet, but like what is
No,
your
I know
main
that
goal?
word.
Okay,
And
what's
so
the
it's crazy
word?
you said it. It's really passion,
Okay.
to be honest. Like, and I love that you said, like, with your word being trust, it's like you start to really take the lessons from everything that's going on around you. You start to see that
Mhm.
and everything, that's going on and
Yeah.
everything, and your experiences. And that's pretty much the same here. Like this year, my word is passion.
I love that.
And it's passion in everything,
Yeah.
right? Like conversations,
Yes.
like making sure when I lead a conversation with whoever I'm talking to, like
Mhm.
I leave it with some passion. I give passion into it.
Right.
Every endeavor I do is passionate. I put passion into it.
I
Like
love
my
that.
words, my actions, my thoughts, like everything. And not saying I've never been passionate, but I just feel like there's a lot more that can go into it. Like when you really
Right.
put passion into something, like it just grows,
For
right? Once you
sure.
put a lot of water and nurture into it.
So with your business right now, is the goal to like you have Sabrina, is the goal to have just like multiple coaches, they're running the systems, like they're doing the programming, all that? Is that
Mhm.
is
So
that
that's
how you
part,
grow?
yeah, that's definitely a big part of it. So I still want to be very well much involved
Mhm.
into the coaching, but also I want to help grow other leaders as well
Yeah.
to do their thing. So they want to become a part of like the umbrella,
Yeah.
right? But also at the same time help individuals grow their own thing at the same time.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
That's super cool. So what is something that I guess in terms of like how do you like what's your like how do you not get overwhelmed? Like what is your kind of like thing that you go do?
Shit, I get overwhelmed.
Like, but I mean, I know, but like when you get overwhelmed,
Yeah.
like what do you do? Is it prayer? Is
No,
it
this
like
this
what
is
do you
crazy, Danny. Get the fuck out of my head.
what?
Like, what is going on? Like,
Because we
literally,
in
I
it.
wrote this down yesterday. Like, I had to write a framework for because it just happened. I just got overwhelmed, like literally a
Yeah.
couple days ago.
But
Uh,
I feel that because I feel like I know you, but I
It's crazy, right? Like,
yeah.
yeah, real talk. So, I had to write the framework down. I'm like, because what do I need to do the next time this happens so I get out of it quicker?
Yes.
Right. So the overwhelm a lot of times comes from like so many things to do and it's so urgent of deadlines, right?
Yeah.
So okay, cool. I can't do everything at once,
Mhm.
obviously, right? Okay, what can I control? What can I control? What I can't control, just completely get it out of my head.
Yeah.
But I sit down, I'll do, what brain dump is, right?
Mhm.
Just brain
Yeah.
dump everything out. Okay, boom. What can I do? What one action can I do right now that'll make the biggest difference for me right now?
Mhm.
And most of the time it's crazy, but it's meditation.
Okay.
Like that'll be the one thing and just really just sit like
How do you meditate? Do you have something playing
oh
in the
god, yeah, a
background?
guided meditation. I wish I could do it just like with nothing and like
Right.
really be clear. Hell no. thoughts
Yeah.
going at a million miles per hour. So
Mine is
yeah,
too.
yeah, I
Yeah.
do a guided meditation and it helps 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Um, Fun fact for everyone listening, I used to, like, lead a meditation class and, like yeah, and you see how
Real.
t you hear how fast I talk. I felt like I was in slow motion, like, it was horrible, and I was like, "This is teaching you to be better,
Yeah,
like, calm down, like,
love it.
breathe," but I was just like, "This is trash." Like, I
Yeah,
don't so I commend you for doing that, because it is. My brain is always going. So it is so hard. But I do believe, like, for anyone listening who is overwhelmed because there's so many entrepreneurs right now
yeah,
that are fighting that,
yeah,
that are on the verge of giving up, on the verge of like, I mean, selling or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like they're
yeah.
just like, I'm done. I can't handle it, whatever. So
And before you get to that point,
yeah.
like, or I ain't gonna say before you get to the point, because you could be damn near at that breaking point, right? Just, and I know it's easier said than done, but just
Yes.
go one more, just man, one more step, just
Yep.
one more day, just give it one more action, whatever it looks like, just one more.
Yep.
I've been there so many times, like,
Yeah.
thought about giving up and throwing it in. Like, I know I said that the first month I got in the online, like, got that mentor, got in the online coaching, and it really went. And after that first month, like, shit died down. And I
Yeah.
was like, shit, maybe this isn't for me,
Right.
right? But I was like, no, nah, just make one more DM, one more call,
Mm-hmm.
and when I kept doing it, one more, then a client came and
Yeah.
a opportunity came, and
And that's why I try not to sit in emotions so much
yeah,
because I know I can tell myself and say, yeah, today was rough or whatever, but like tomorrow, who knows what's going to happen.
facts,
And when you live in that world, I think some people are like, oh, I know it's going to happen.
yeah,
I mean, well, you may know your schedule,
yeah,
but you don't know how people are going to talk to you. You don't know what's coming. And there's been so many times like that where it took one email or one phone call, like you're saying, or that one even that one client, like getting a
yeah,
new client is so fulfilling.
yeah.
And you're just like,
Gotta
dang,
change
like,
their fucking life.
yes.
Yeah,
And like it is. And so it's just like, okay, another person in the community, like, all right, let's do this,
yeah.
or whatever it might be. So it is, I think, so many times people just don't have that they just can't see that. They're just so blocked down, you know?
Yeah,
So I try to really reiterate that, especially around this time of year,
yeah.
that like, nah, just push like not even push through, but just like that one step forward.
And I think that comes from if you forget the vision, right? So if you don't hold on to the
Mhm.
vision, like if the
Yes.
vision isn't clear, then
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to give up.
For
It's
sure.
a lot easier to give up. It's a lot harder to push forward if your vision isn't there.
Right. Well, do you have a with your business stuff, do you have like a saying? Because I mean, you've seen mine. Like I got love your body,
No, I
fight for
love
what
it.
you
I
want.
don't, and I don't. I need to come up with something
Okay.
that's like it's like just as awesome. I love this. Yeah,
Thank you, because that's something I ask my people about. It's
yeah,
like, which one resonates with you? Is it
yeah.
get your movement in? Is it fight for what you want, love your body, whatever? And it's interesting to see who says like fight for what you want, or who says love your body, or who says get your movement in, because it really tailors to different people, you know.
Hmm.
But I mean, I wear my bands every day, and it's not to be like, oh hey everybody, like check it out. Like most time, like they're covered or whatever.
Yeah,
But like it's with me, it's a part of me, and so
yeah.
like when I do feel like giving up, because again, we do feel like that sometimes,
No
or
facts.
feel like it gets too much or this or that or whatever. And it's like I'll look down at that and I'm like, fuck. Like,
What do you
like,
think about when you look down at it?
I feel like I look back and I'm like, yeah, fight for what you want. Like you why remember this how it helps bring me back centered to remember why I started.
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
Like, what is it? What is it? What's the fight for what you want right now?
Oh, what's my
Like the exact.
yeah. I would say the the fight for me is and it has been like this to stay mentally and physically healthy because I don't know if you knew I was injured I've been injured for a couple years, and so that happened, and I couldn't feel my left leg. All right, left leg was numb day after day after day. Lost function, it would give out. No one cared because all they saw was like spray tans. Hair was blown out because I was trying to do things to lift me up.
Mm,
Reason I posted that tire flip video that went viral,
yeah.
that was on a day that I was my most depressed. That I woke up and I was like, I'm gonna change the situation. Imma fight for what I want. Remember a day that you felt happy and that you felt like
Wow.
your best self, and that was that day that I flipped that tire,
Wow.
and because I couldn't do heavy
Yeah.
stuff like that, you know? So I posted that, left it as is, came back, a
Shit.
few
Now knowing the backstory behind it, that's fucking crazy. Wow.
Yeah, and, like, I remember, like and I literally went to go get a spray tan that day,
Yeah.
hair done, all these things because I was trying to lift myself up out of that because I was, literally when you deal with pain, and anyone listening that's dealt with injury, I don't take it lightly,
Right.
and it can consume you. I mean, it was a part of me now, you know? And so now when I have days like today where I can feel my full leg, I'm like, "Let's go."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it may be like, yeah, it's gonna be a long day or something like that, but I'm like, "I'm living the life I chose." And so it's just things get more clear, you know?
Perspective.
And like, yeah, it
Yeah.
does put in perspective, and that's why I say to people, like, the people when they get or they complain about movement or whatever and stuff like that, because people be like, "How do you do this? And how do you work out like this?" Whatever. I'm like, "Because I can.
Yeah.
I'm physically able." When that's taken away from you, especially with that athlete mindset, like, people soon forget, like, when you're trapped in that's hard, you know? And
Yeah.
so that's why I take every day, yeah, it might be a hard workout or it might be this or whatever, but look at it as like, this is a moment for me to be better, and this is I'm lucky I get to move. And that is what I look at. So with the whole fight for what you want thing, it is truly like knowing my limits, not going balls to the wall, you know what I mean? And like, because again, I know right now if pressed that I could lift like like a little under 400 pounds deadlift, right? If pressed.
Yeah.
But then I might have to deal with 2 weeks of like not feeling my leg.
Mm. Yeah.
So is it worth it?
Yeah.
So it's just finding that balance,
Yeah.
right? And same thing with
100%.
my clients, having boundaries, but still giving them all that I can. That it so again, it is that fight to like kind of clear my systems of like, here is a system. We're looking at moving forward with how I onboard people, just like getting things cleaned up.
Yeah.
Like and so organization, I guess, which sounds kind of boring, but like when you're running, you know,
Systems matter.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm learning that for sure.
Yeah.
So if something, like with you and stuff, did you deal with anything like do you touch on that with your clients at all about them like with the mental side of them like not loving themselves
I
or
live
hating their body or whatever?
all the time. So I do in my private community, I do what's called wake up Mondays. So
Okay.
8 a.m. Central Standard Time. I got like a 10 to 15 minute live video inside of Facebook.
Okay.
And it's all about mindset.
I love
It's all
that.
about where they are. It's all about not being so it also focus on doing too damn much as well, right?
Yeah.
And being super like how I put this focused on not so much the wrong things, but things that aren't productive for them,
Mm,
right? To get them to the next
right.
level. So really all about mindset. My program is mostly about mindset because I
Yeah.
could give you the whole blue. You know that you
Oh
can give the whole
yeah.
blueprint.
Yeah.
You can have the nutrition. You can have the exercise program.
Yeah.
You can have the supplement guide. You can have all of that. But if
Yes.
your mind isn't there, right,
See, I love that
it's not
because
gonna work.
you don't hear of a lot of men touching on that, especially in the personal training space and stuff like that. So I love that.
But it's hard too. I don't know about any other men, but like for myself, like I'm not saying it's been easy to do, but my clients have taught me so much in
Yeah.
regards to like being more open and transparent and being more vulnerable. Because I
Yeah.
was taught growing up that wasn't a thing that a man did, but my clients have taught me, oh, that's actually the strongest thing I can do,
Yes.
and it shows a lot of strength. And so my clients, like I get real with them. I
Yeah.
get real with each other. Like we've cried on calls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like all of that. It's been real.
I love that because seriously, there is nothing more, and I've said this before, like when we were talking about like with me, just like with relationships and stuff. Like there was, oh, you want that alpha male or like whatever. And I'm
Yeah,
like, bro, I want somebody that's in tune with like his
yeah.
emotions
A
and that can
balance.
be, yeah, and it
Yeah,
can be strong, but also like if you want to cry, like then let's cry.
yeah,
Like whatever you need, like at that moment in time, like that's okay. You don't have to shield that. You don't have to be always positive. You don't have to always be perfect because again, I've lived that.
yeah,
And that is not real, and I'm so
yeah,
tired of seeing that, and I think that's what drags me down the most
yeah,
because, like, if there's a problem, then let's talk about it.
yep,
If there's something going on, like, let's talk about it.
yeah,
Like, it's not gonna go away, and that's why I'm a big proponent of therapy. I'm a big proponent of having a coach. Like, I have a coach and a trainer, so I'm always bettering myself,
yeah.
you know, in any regard,
I love that. Yeah,
right? So it's like you have to surround yourself with that, and, it goes back to surrounding yourself with a community of, like-minded people and stuff, and they are a dozen, I feel like, and so I don't know, do you feel
now
like that?
authentic is definitely a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How do you feel in the borough? Do you feel like? Because I ask everybody from,
yeah.
like, it's in the borough and fitness because people always think I am, and I'm not. Like, you know what I mean? Because I
I thought you were.
well, yeah,
Yeah,
that's I think people think I'm just, like, everywhere, which again, that's fine,
yeah.
whatever,
I mean,
but
you're omnipresent as fuck. You feel me? Like you are all over the place. Like for
you're gonna be,
real.
like, laying in bed tonight,
Know what I'm saying? I'm
you're gonna hear
thinking, I was
"Fight
like,
for
how the
what
fuck
you
did I
want."
how did I meet? Like, how did we come across each other? I don't even fucking know, but like I'm glad to be here. Like you feel me?
Yeah.
However we cross paths, like I love it. And
And
again, I feel like I've been knowing you for the longest, but I just met you today.
yes, and
Yeah,
but I love that though,
yeah,
and that's really how like it's so funny, but that's how I have established, like, so many
yeah,
connections, and that's why social media is such a good presence,
yeah.
it's such a good tool when used for the right way.
Boom.
you know? And that really does bring us together because I know we got a lot of time and, things like that. We're running from place to place to place,
Facts.
and whatever. So it does mean a lot you coming out here and
100%.
everything.
That's how
So
I feel about people
yeah.
in Murfreesboro,
Yes,
the
that's what I
fitness
wanna
community
know.
in Murfreesboro.
That's all
No, I
yeah.
love it. I love it out here. Everyone's so, I put this, willing to help, and willing to see each other get to that next level. Like I'm in tune with Tyler,
Mhm.
Charles, Rucker.
Yes.
I'm in tune with Charles' wife, right? I'm in
Mhm.
tune with you. I'm in tune with Sabrina. I'm in tune with Champion Tone Fitness with Kelvin
Yep.
Edwards out here.
Yeah.
Arsenio. There's my guy Jeremy. There's a like
Yeah.
literally feel like everybody who's in the fitness. Well, not everybody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everybody in the scene, right? Who I know
Yes.
of. Everybody's willing to push each other, and I feel like everybody's so supportive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and willing to give what they can to
Yeah.
see you get to the next level.
I love that. Do you think that and yeah, and even people you just named like are not
Yeah.
doing it like what you're doing too. And so it's like, you know what I mean? Like they're not like in maybe the online space, but like they do know how to resonate with like being that grind. Kind of being like how old are you if you don't mind me asking?
32.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So around the same
Damn, put my
age.
age out there. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, just,
Nah, I'm talking. It's
just
all good.
painting the picture because
Yeah, hundred
sometimes
percent.
people think like they're like, man, I'm coming on like 25 and like
Yeah,
I haven't done this and whatever, like that
yeah,
kind of stupid stuff. And I try never to have timelines with
yeah.
stuff. And I don't know about you. I mean, yes, it can be like, okay, I want to get this done and set this intention for this challenge or this or
Right.
whatever, right? And I love a good schedule. But I try not to be like, I gotta make it to here by this time.
Yeah. Man, I just had to talk about this because it's a like it's a two-sided coin, right? So like with clients, and I do the same for myself. It's like putting a date or a deadline on something. It gives value to each day. It's like
Yes.
I could just say like, okay, I want to achieve this year,
Mm-hmm.
but if I don't have a specific date, it's like it can happen whenever. But as soon as I put a date on it, I
Right.
feel like it makes every day count. So the same with clients when they come in, I'm like, oh, I just want to achieve this, or like I said, I want to lose 20 pounds, or
Yeah.
I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do a pull up right by the end of the
Yes.
year. Okay, let's put a date on that because then every day counts, and like
Right.
you don't want to miss a day.
But do you feel like so again, I feel like those are more like short-term goals, right?
Yeah.
But then what I'm talking about too though is also that dreamer type.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
the sponsorships from
Got you.
wherever or
Got you.
where
Got
you
you.
where
Got
you
you.
trying to get
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I feel like yes, it has to be a good balance with that, but that is kind of more where I lean towards in like that with the whole like I told you, I'm not gonna pay to live in Nashville, like the
Right.
whole thing, right?
Okay.
It was like so everybody kept putting timelines on me and timelines and pressures. And I was
Because
like,
of where you at in your life.
yes,
Yeah.
and I was like they're like, "You're 25 and you're with your
You should
parents,
be
26." I was like, "Who are we comparing
yeah,
to?"
yeah.
I'm
Facts.
not I'm not on anybody's
Timeline.
I don't
Yeah.
care what so and so did.
Yeah. Your
I
journey is your journey. Yeah.
exactly. So I think keeping that present too, but
No,
yes,
facts.
but yeah, I get what you're saying with the clients and stuff like that. That is
No, now that I see what you where you're coming from with the longer term thinking,
mhm,
right? Long term vision. No facts. Because there's I don't think you can ever be too old to do something or
right,
too young to do something. Right?
right.
No,
Yes.
100%.
So it's like we almost have to distinguish it, but understand both.
No, facts.
And, like, really go with it, so
Facts.
but yeah, well, I love that. Well, I loved having you on today, Antonio, seriously, like, this was awesome. Is there anything that you want any of the listeners to hear or know about you that we didn't touch on? Like, I know there was a lot, but again, like, I have just, like I said, been following you, and I feel like you're so, motivating, real, and, it's such a rarity for me to see that,
Same.
and
The
so it
vibe is
was
the
really
same.
cool.
100%. I don't have too much to say, y'all. I just want to say, whoever's watching this, whoever listening, keep going.
Yeah,
Keep going. Keep your vision in sight. Have purpose behind your vision. And don't give up. Like chase your fucking dreams.
I love it. That was awesome.
100%.
Until next time, guys.
Peace. I
Hey,
love it.
that was